It's Sandra. I'm live with another episode of Asexualized, My Asexual Life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button down below. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live and I'll post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as we go along if you're enjoying the content. If you don't know who I am, I'm Sandra Bellamy, author of this wonderful book called Asexual Perspectives, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I interviewed 46 asexuals across the globe for this book and across the asexual spectrum. So it's a really good read, and the links are down below if you want to check that out. I'm also the founder of asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualise Academy. Well, if you didn't know, this week it's my birthday on Wednesday and I'm super excited, and my asexual best friend has come down from Hertfordshire for 3 nights and 4 days to spend time with me for my birthday. And tonight we went out to the cinema and he paid for me to see a film, which was Shazam, which is a superhero movie, which is a really, really good film. And I'll do a separate film review on that. But tonight I want to talk to you about something very, very important. What do you do when an old love interest comes back into your life and wants to be friends with you? Now, this is a really, really, really important video. So listen up, right? So I told you my best friend paid for me to see the cinema, right? Before, oh, hi, honey. Hi, Philip. Love you. So before, thank you for the thumbs up. So before I get to the cinema, I had a Nando's with my best friend and asexual friend. And then we went to have some tea, like herbal tea. I was drinking herbal tea. And then we went to the cinema. And as I'm walking to the cinema, I have this text message come up on Messenger from this guy, Indian guy, that I used to fancy and be interested in a relationship with back in, I think it was January 2015. January 2015, right? I connected with him on an asexual dating site, asexuality.com. Now, only yesterday, when I was at it's the day before, it's not, because it's now gone into Tuesday because I've been out late watching the movie, but it was on Sunday. I was at my parents' place and I was changing my profile on asexuality to say I'm now in a happy sex-free relationship, right? So I'm just on here to help asexuals and to keep in contact with friends because one of my friends messages me on there, right? And I've done that on ace-book.net as well. I've already done that on ASAP before, and I did it on asexuality.org. So I made sure I've gone on all the sites now that I'm on, that I use. I think there might be some old site somewhere that I might still be on, but I don't use it anymore. So I wasn't paid member. So anyway, to cut a long story short, this guy comes back into my life. I think the last time we messaged was January 2015, right? And he literally broke my heart, right? Bear in mind, he is Indian, younger guy, right? Which I usually go for Indian guys, as you know, in the past. So he was the first Indian guy that broke my heart. He pops up yesterday. Sorry, not yesterday. Well, yeah, it's yesterday now, Monday, when I'd only said I was in a relationship on Sunday, right? That's what I put because I updated my profile on Sunday because, yeah, I updated my profile on Sunday. Hi, love you, darling. And I said that I was in put that I'm in a happy relationship. I took all this stuff off that says what I'm looking for, right? So there's nothing on there that says I'm looking for a relationship. It's that I'm in a happy, nothing, it says looking for. It's like, well, I'm in a happy, sex-free relationship now. That's the end of the story, right? So this guy shows up in my life. We're now in April 2019. And I think the last message that was between us, actual message between us, was in January 2015, right? And after I changed my profile to say I was now in a relationship, that's when he shows back up in my life this evening, messaging me, can we be friends, right? Now, this is really important. Listen to this, because this is not the first time this has happened to me, and it's super important you hear what I have to say, right? So I'll read his message to you, right? Because I had to decide whether I want, what to do, whether to actually bother replying or just completely ignore him, or what to do, right? So I've had this situation before. I actually had it on an ASAP last year where a guy came up, and again, he really upset me. A foreign guy really upset me a few years ago and wanted to be friends, right? So this is how I deal with this scenario, right? So, right, this guy goes, oh, so this is Monday, this is today. As I'm walking, because I had my phone on before I went to the cinema. And bear in mind, like I said, January 2015 was the last time I heard from this guy. So you know, and now I'm in a relationship. He wants to know me. Funny that, isn't it? Just after I changed my message. Now I'll talk to you about why this phenomenon happens, because it happens quite a bit. Our old past love interest will likely more show up when you're in a relationship with someone. And I will tell you more about that because it's quite psychological, right? So it says, hey, Sandra, I think I can say his first name because obviously you don't know surname. It's still not giving too much away. Robin here. Not sure if you remember me. I recognise his name as soon as it came up. But I wanted to apologise for misunderstandings a few years back. It's very important you pay attention to his words. Now I am in a very happy relationship. He's in a happy relationship, right? He sees I'm in a relationship. If he's in a happy relationship, why is he contacting me when the last time he spoke to me is in 2015? January 2015, right? This person must have seen in my profile, because he'd had to click on my profile because he's talking about it in a minute, to see that I'm in a happy relationship now. Why, if he's in a happy relationship, does he need to speak to an ex-love interest, me? Why? Why? Right? So we go along. So he goes, I wanted to apologise for misunderstandings a few years back. Now I'm in a very happy relationship, and so I updated my asexuality profile. I logged that in after years. Now, that isn't 100% true because I saw him on there. Maybe it might be true because I think it was a year before last I saw him back on there. But I have seen him back on there since he didn't speak to me, right? Right, so he said, so I updated my asexuality profile, logged in after years to maybe make some friends. Why does he need to go back to an old asexual dating site that he hasn't been on for years if he wants to make some friends, if he's got a girlfriend? Hasn't he got friends in his own country? Because I'm blimmin' sure he has. That is dodgy as hell. Sorry, people, but it's dodgy as hell. You know, if you're in a happy relationship, why do you need to go back to an old dating site to make friends? Why? There's plenty of asexual groups on Facebook. I run an asexual friends group. Plenty of them. Why go back on an asexual dating site if you're in a happy relationship when you haven't logged in for years and update it? You know, it's really, really weird, right? And so it says to maybe make some friends. And I saw your comment there in a forum and thought to maybe send you a message apologising. Well, I don't know what blimmin' forum that was. It must have been a long time ago. Right. Listen to these words now, right? Listen to the switch. This is a guy who's not actually good, but it's very subtle. Listen to the word switch, right? That time I was in a bad place, right? He's taken responsibility for his actions at the moment. And pardon me, this is the bit where he twists it round to make me out the bad person, right? So he said, that time I was in a bad place, right? Okay, so he's in a bad place for enough. And pardon me for anything wrong that you may have thought about me, which means he is blaming me for the misunderstandings that happened between us. So it's my fault that he behaves badly towards me. That's what it means. This is not a good guy. This is a sweet guy that's not really sweet. This is actually a half-handed apology. That's what he's done. He's seen my asexuality profile. He's think, oh, she's in a relationship now. I'll contact her again. That's what his psychology is, right? Because he's gone from he's in a bad place, responsibility, and then switching it. Pardon me for anything wrong that you may have thought about me, which means he is saying that I was the one who thought badly about him. So that basically lets him off the hook with his actions because it's me that's got the misunderstanding, not him, right? So this is how oh god, my friend's just messaged me. He's just got back to the hotel, but he's hurt himself. God, I hope he's all right. I have to message him in a minute. So anyway, listen to this. Sorry, obviously I'm a bit worried about my friend. I'll have to message him in a minute. It won't be too long on air. Right, anyway, so going back to the message, right, this guy called Robin. So you know, like basically he's saying that he was in a bad place, and now I switched it around to say for anything wrong that you may have thought about me, which is a very bad guy. You know, he subtly switched the fact that I'm the one responsible for his actions when he's the one responsible. He doesn't want to say sorry and take ownership of his sorry. He wants to switch it back on me, which is what he was like before, right? And listen to this. Regardless, so it doesn't matter what happened before between me and him, I would love to be friends, right? The word love, for a start, is a very, very strong, powerful word, as you know. So he's basically saying, I would love to be friends, which means why, if he's in a happy relationship now, we haven't spoke since 2015, is he on a dating site rekindling his account and he would love to be friends with me? The word love speaks volumes because it means he's basically going to have his girlfriend and his cake and eat it with me in the background, so that if anything happens with the relationship between him and her, he's still got me dangling on a string, being friends with him, knowing that I was really attracted to him years ago. That's what it means. This is not a good guy, right? And he said, I hope you also found someone or will soon do. Well, he must have seen my profile because, if he looked at my profile, he would notice that I changed it Sunday and he messaged me on Monday to say I was in a relationship. So that's a bit blimmin' ridiculous, isn't it? Right? So hope you also found someone, because my Facebook is in my profile. How did he know to get me on Facebook? Because I'm not connected to him on Facebook. So he must have gone on my profile. So he must have seen I was in a relationship, right? So hope you also found someone or will soon do. Because you are a good person. I thought, thanks very much. But I'm a good person. But you don't need to tell me that, because obviously you're spinning around the fact that I had a misunderstanding about you. Blaming me for the way he treated me. That's right. And he said, oh, well, what are you saying? Because you're a good person. Cheers. Have a good evening. So I said to my friend Sam, because he was by me, I said, shall I reply to this or not? And I thought, I'm going to reply. I'm going to accept his apology because it puts the past to rest. And I'm going to say that I don't think it's a good idea if we're because I've got a guy now. I don't think it's a good idea. We're friends. But, I don't think it's a good idea. We do that again. And we've both moved on now, right? So, and then if he started messaging me, then I would block him, right? Because obviously the moral of the story here is you really don't want to be friends with an ex, right? Well, he wasn't even my ex, but he was we were quite we were talking online, we fancied each other, but he broke my heart, right? And so you don't want to be friends with someone like this, right? If someone comes into your past like this, it means they want their girlfriend and they want you on the side, so that if anything happens with their girlfriend, they've still got someone hanging on and they don't accept responsibility for their actions. What he's done, he's gone on my profile and thought, oh God, she's actually got a young, I think I might have even put I don't know if I think I have a happy sex-free relationship. I don't know if I put young guy. But anyway, and obviously he's seen I'm in a relationship with someone else and now his ears are pricked up and he's interested in me, because I'd love to be friends with you. It's like, if you're in a happy relationship, why do you want to be friends? He could have said sorry to me and not asked to be my friend. He could just say, I'm really sorry for the way I treated you badly years ago. I saw that comment. I wish you well in your life. I see you've got someone. I'm really pleased for you. That's what he should have said. But no, this is because he wants me back in his life, right? So I turned around to him and said, thanks so much for your apology. You were the first Indian guy that broke my heart. So it's nice you said sorry to me, even though I know it was half-hearted and even though really it was blaming me, right? But I just want to lay the past to rest. So I put, and I found the love of my life just over a week ago. And he is a young British guy rather than Indian. He's 23, 24 next month. My birthday is this week. So we are the same star sign too. We get on super well and he makes me really happy. I put, I'm glad you found someone too, but I don't think it's a good idea for us to be friends on here, considering how I felt in the past about you and what happened. We have both got partners now and moved on. Listen how his attitude changes. Great to hear that. And totally understand and agree. Take care and thanks for accepting my apology. I mean, that's just a load of rubbish, isn't it? Totally agree. He obviously didn't totally agree because he was the one who proposed that we be friends because he'd love to be friends with me. Do you see what I mean? You don't want to get involved with people who you were interested in a relationship with years ago. This is a phenomenon that happens, people. I'll tell you now, right? When you're in a committed relationship with someone, when you are in a happy committed relationship with someone, right? People can see that your past love interests will often creep back into your life because it's this when I was I'll tell you what, when I was in a relationship, when I was 16 years old, 15, 16, all that sort of time, it was one guy after the other that fancied me. And I had a time in my life that when I was in a relationship, guys were attracted to me. Their best male friends wanted to be in a relationship with me while I was with that guy. They were eyeing me up. They were really interested in me, fancying me when I had a boyfriend, right? The boyfriends, my boyfriends at the time, their best friends were fancying me, right? Interested in a relationship with me, right? As soon as that boyfriend left my life and split up, they didn't want to know anymore. So this is a phenomenon that happens sometimes. It's like law of attraction. Like when you're in a relationship, you become more attractive, right? You become more attractive in the sense that you are often filled with more confidence, you're happy, and so people around you are naturally more attracted to you. But it also happens because you're off the market. You're seen as more of a challenge to people, right? People want to pursue you more because you're off limits. So whereas before you might have been pursuing people, people like pull away when you pursue a person. Wrong people will pull away, right? The right person, if you're like me and Peter, Peter, I'll keep calling him Peter, me and Philip. It's because when I'm doing my live stream, the Peter shows up more. I mean, Philip, when me and Philip are, messaging, and we're always messaging love messages to each other, and we love each other, is a very, very different because we're both that keen on each other, right? But if you're like messaging someone on dating sites, dating apps or whatever, and you're really keen on them and they're not that keen on you, right? They'll pull away from you, right? This is a phenomenon. Like the more you're interested, the more they'll pull away, right? In a loving, happy, healthy relationship, you should both be equally sort of still actively, even in a relationship, you should actively still keeping the love alive all the time. Do you know what I mean? In romance, it's really important that you don't let your attention off your partner, because obviously, they I love you for that. They can, everyone's got the option to still not be with you if they choose to be. So you've to maintain the relationship, right? You've got to maintain the love, retain the romance, maintain the fact that they feel safe and secure with you, that if you're out with someone else, that they still feel that, that you're theirs, they're yours, and, that you can see other people, but, you've got boundaries and everything in place, right? So these people, they come into your life and, if he'd carry on messaging me after that, then I would have just blocked him. Because that's it. I'm not being friends with someone who is, I'm in a loving relationship now. I'm not being friends with an ex-love interest. It's not right? But this is what happens sometimes. You have to be aware of this, right? Because you have to know that some people might come into your life, if you are in a relationship now, and start trying to pursue you again, or start trying to just be friends. Because some people might think, oh, well, yeah, no problem. It's been years. Let's be friends. But that doesn't usually work, right? It doesn't usually work because one person usually have feelings for the other come back, or vice versa, or they're using you, right? They're using you. They didn't want you back then, and so they're using you now. Now you've got someone. You don't want that type of person in your life. You've got enough friends. You don't need a friend that's their ex-love interest, right? Let them go. They went out of your life for a reason. They're not meant to be in it. They weren't good enough for you then, and they're not good enough as a friend even for you now, right? So drop them. That's it. Don't bother. You don't even have to reply to them if you don't want. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I don't even bother replying. I mean, I've blocked a load of people anyway that are ex-interest, right? But I just put "you're welcome" on there at the end, like thanks for accepting my apology, like a sticker saying "you're welcome." Obviously, no love or anything like that, because I'm not interested in like that. I don't want him to get the wrong impression. And that's the end of that, But if he crept up, I would just have blocked him because I'm not interested. But this is what happens. This is a phenomenon that happens, that the more you're in a relationship, the more people want you, right? People who will come out the woodwork, people who you might think, oh, well, they're just my friend. All of a sudden they show up. It's really interesting as well, because there's a guy on ASAP. Now I've put on ASAP that I'm in a relationship, right? Again, this other guy, who I was interested before, right? He's on ASAP, but I mean, to be honest, we weren't too romantic or anything. But now, like, he just stopped talking to me. I haven't talked to this guy since before Christmas, right? Oh, right. So he's start talking to me about fake profiles. So it's like, hey, Sandra, it's been a while. Just wondering, is it just me, or have you also noticed a surge in these fake profiles on this app lately? So he might just be talking to me as an asexual person who's like helps other asexuals out, but still he hasn't talked to me for ages either. Do you know what I mean? He's not talking to me about anything romantic, and it's true because me and my friend Sam were saying that about this app. But isn't it weird that another person who hasn't spoke to me for months, now he sees I'm in a relationship, they start popping up out of the woodwork? This wasn't really, I wasn't really like, I had some attraction for him, but I wasn't like really like, not like the Indian guy was interested in a relationship with him. You know what I mean? It's kind of like he hasn't spoke for ages. So, but yeah, but it's still like weird. Do you know what I mean? People start messaging you and they haven't for ages. But I mean, that's an okay message. But do you know what I mean? You've got to be very, very careful with these things. But there was a guy in ASAP, right? And he again was, I love you too, Philip. He again was he came on before I met Philip. He came on ASAP several months ago, right? And I thought I recognised him, but I couldn't remember where. So I started messaging him because he's Indian. And I said I was interested. And then all of a sudden I thought, I think I've known this guy. I recognise the name and the face. So I said, have we messaged before? And he goes, yeah. He goes, and it didn't end well between us. And I'm like, oh yeah. And then I remembered what he was like. And he made me believe that he liked me back, that he fancied me back, but he didn't. He just lied about it. And then I was at work and he phoned me at work once, making me feel like he was really interested in me, but really he wasn't. And he was just like kind of using me. And anyway, so when I found out who was an ASAP, and because I liked his YouTube, because I forgot it was him, because it must have been like 3 years before, like since I heard from him. And then I think he said hey to me or something, I'm not sure. But I just said to him, all right, well, I don't want to be friends with you again because, I accept your apology, because he apologized as well. He said, I'm sorry for my behavior back then. See, a lot of guys have done wrong by me. So he said, I'm sorry about that. And I said, well, it's really nice you apologize. Thank you very much. I said, but I don't want to be friends with you again. I don't think it's a good idea considering how I felt about you in the past and what happened between us. And I said, I said, so thank you. My bad, because I didn't realize who you were. I didn't realize you were the same guy. And thanks for the apology, but that's it. And that's it. He hasn't spoke to me since, because if he had done, I would just you could block him on there as well, you see. So it's very important that if a past love interest comes back in your life, right, so you just let them go from your life again. If obviously if they were doing bad sexual stuff to you, you just don't even have anything to do with them. If you didn't like these people, neither of those people I told you about I was actually in a relationship with, right? I was just interested, but I was kind of brokenhearted by both of these guys. The first one, that I talked about, he's one that just popped up like before I went to the cinema. So and it's really important. You lay it straight. You have to be strong with people, right? You really have to be strong when you're in a relationship with other people, because other people will try and take advantage if you're not careful. And what happens, it's just a weird phenomenon that when you're in a relationship, more people are interested and fancy you. But get out of that relationship again. I don't want to get out of the relationship with Philip. He's gorgeous, but but if you were single again, half of them wouldn't even be bothered about you. It's the challenge. It's the fact you've got someone now. They're like, oh, other people are interested in you. I'll be interested in you. It's like say, it's a bit like they jump on the bandwagon. It's a bit like if there's a TV program on TV that people are talking about, everyone wants to watch that TV program, don't they? That's the type of thing it is a relationship. So it's one guy. If there's a guy or a girl, it's like everyone will come back. So it's it's a bit weird. Like people will start talking to you again. They haven't spoken to you for months, and it's because they're that now they see your relationship. It's he could have just said, "Oh, I see you're in a relationship now." This other guy as well, nice app. Oh, I'm really pleased for you. But it is true that there is a lot of fake profiles in that app now. But I'm not looking for a relationship on there anyway. So, but it's bad for asexuals because there's so many people who are actually sexual on ASAP now, and so many fakes, and the problem is there's no button to report these people. You can block them, you can't report them. So there really needs to be a filtering system. I mentioned it before on the pros and cons of ASAP, to be honest. It's really important they should put that on there. But anyway, I'm really proud of myself as well, because it was an Indian guy who did break my heart years ago, and I'm really proud of myself for saying basically, I'm not going to be your friend again, because I know what you're up to. That was an apology, but it wasn't really an apology, because he's basically saying that it was my fault for the misunderstanding, because it's me that thought that. So, you know what I mean? It's a bad guy that does that. It's very subtle. When you read stuff, it's very subtle language that changes, meaning that person's not a good person. So you have to be very, very careful. A lot of people can't understand these type of things because I have a lot of experience in relationships and bad guys and bad people. A lot of people aren't aware of these things. You have to be very, very aware, because some people you may think are your friends, you might find out that they're not your true friends, right? You may find that people, when they say sorry, they're not really saying sorry because they're not taking responsibility. If they start saying, I'm sorry you feel that way, I'm sorry that, if sorry you feel that one's okay, but if they start saying, I'm sorry you misunderstood me, that is basically accusing you of being the problem of why they're having bad behavior. You don't want a person like that, right? You don't. And you have to be really strong. Obviously, you have to have boundaries. I've got good boundaries with people, Because I mean, my friends, I don't obviously go around kissing, cuddling and that. My friends, they stay in a separate hotel. They never stay in my flat. You know what I mean? I haven't got room, and I would do that, you know. So my best friend, he stays in a hotel. All the other asexuals, they either live locally or stay in hotels. And so it's really important you maintain boundaries, and it's really important that these people that were past love interest, you know, you get rid of them out of your life. You do not want them coming back into your life. That's it. If you have to, just block them, you know, like I'll tell you something right now. If you're ever harassed by someone, right, if you've ever got someone like you block and they keep coming back, the best thing to say to them, right, and this works because I know for me, the best thing to say is, look, if you do not leave me alone, I will call the police and have you done for harassment. And you have to be that bold sometimes, right? So I had a boyfriend years ago who was foreign, right, from Afghanistan, right? And this was before I got into a relationship with my last long-term ex of 8.5 years, right? Who wasn't a good guy for me, but the guy from Afghanistan, right? I ended it with him before I got with my ex, who I was friends with my ex at the time before I got in a relationship with him. So we were just friends. But he's on about this Afghanistan guy's no good. And I split up with the Afghanistan guy, but he was stalking me, right? He was standing outside my flat, staring up at the window. He was showing up in different places, right? I think he was messaging or phoning me, right? And it didn't matter what I do, wouldn't listen. So my boyfriend at the time, he just like picked up the phone and he said to him, look, mate, if you do not stop stalking my girlfriend, I will call the police on you and you'll get deported back to your country. Do you want that? And they never, ever stalked me again. That was it, right? So you have to be really, really firm with these people. You can't let them run rings around you. Yeah, there was a foreign guy, right, years ago as well, in the city I live. He was a manager of a restaurant, Indian restaurant. And I met him on the Cathedral Green. We started talking. He was a bit weird. He started brushing my hair when I didn't even know him and stuff. He's a very weird guy. And then he started getting obsessed with me. And he started messaging me, right? And they weren't, you know, I could tell he was getting really obsessed, not in a good way. And so in the end, I said to him, look, if you don't leave me alone, I'll call the police. And then he never bothered me again. So if you are getting stalked by someone, if you're getting someone that did stuff to you, didn't want to do, or your past ex, or you were in an ex relationship, all of a sudden they pop up again and they're trying to stalk you on Facebook, or they're trying to, like, you know, phone you and stuff like this, right? You can tell them, like, leave me alone, I don't want to know. You ignore them, but you can actually say, right, if you do not stop this, I will call the police and have you done for harassment. And you'll have all the proof you've got because you've got the text messages, the phone stuff, right? And don't forget, harassment applies to both men and women. Men can get sexually harassed or they can get verbally harassed, and so can females, right? One of my friends has currently been, like, verbally bullied. Like, he told this person he doesn't want contact anymore, and this person is still contacting him, right? That he said he does not want to be contacted, right? And he does not want to speak on the phone, and this person who he's told this to, he is still contacting my friend, still voice messaging him. Even when my friend said he didn't speak on the phone, even my friend didn't say he wanted to, he's told him he didn't want to see him again, he's made his mind up, still he's messaging him. So tonight he sent him one final message to say, look, I'm not interested. I've told you I'm not interested. Please leave me alone. And he's blocked him. He was on WhatsApp, I think it was. And he's blocked him. And he blocked him from his phone, because I didn't realise you could block phone contacts. But he blocked him from his phone. So, you know, you can't contact him by phone, by message or anything. So please, 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 if you have someone comes back into your life that starts harassing you, just put an end to it. You block them, you ignore them, and as a very last resort, you threaten to call the police, because if that's what it takes, it's fine. And it's not just men, you know, like my friend's a guy, right? And he is being harassed actually by another bloke because he's interested in guys, you know, and this person is supposed to be a responsible person that's harassing him. And it's really, really bad. You know, you don't want someone like that in your life. You know, so I told him, just, you know, I mean, I'm quite happy to like, I said, I'll say to him, because I know who the person is. I said, I'll have a word with them if you want. But I'd rather, you know, it's better to come from that person, because you've got to be strong. You know, you've got to be strong on your own, in your own right? You've got to stick up to these people. You've got to stand your ground. You've got to think you've got enough friends, enough people in the world. You do not need people like this coming back in your life. People that are past love interests. They didn't want to know you then. They weren't nice to you at the time. They do not deserve your love. They do not deserve your friendship right now, right? That's it. Period. Done. There's thousands of people in the world for you to be friends with. And in my experience, it's better to get a good quality amount of friends, like a few handfuls, than it is to have hundreds of them, right? Because 100 people ain't really your friends, right? They're just friends on Facebook are not really your friends, a lot of them, are they? They're people that hardly even speak to you, right? Let's be blunt about this. Not speak to you unless they want something, a lot of them, right? But there are a few really good friends, or, that you might know online, but the majority are not. Like I've got my best friend Sam, who's asexual, I saw tonight. My best friend Andy. I got my best friend Debbie. I got my gorgeous guy Philip, who's obviously a best friend to me now. I've got, I've got like a friend from primary school. I kind of still consider a best friend, but not in the full sense because we don't see each other very often, and these are the people that are my best friends. They're like, I can count them on one hand. But, and I've got another asexual kind of best friend as well. Not as close as Andy or Sam. And so, and I've got a few, I've got a person that I've known for 4 years online. They're getting married next month to their partner. So that's amazing. They're transgender and they're getting married to their partner. They've got a baby together and married next month. And I've known them online for about 4 years. So I'm really good friends with them. But in general, I can count them on less than one hand. Really true, good friends. And I've got an entrepreneur friend. We chat regularly, so she's really amazing as well. So they're like less than 10 people probably that I'm really, really like close to, trust and happy with. Do you know what I mean? But that's real, true friends for you. But you don't need these people coming back in your life. If an ex-love interest is interested in coming back into your life, don't bother. They left your life for a reason. You don't need them. All it's going to do is create more anxiety, more headaches, more hassle, because either you're going to start fancying them again, they're going to start fancying you, one or the other. That is what usually happens, right? No two ways about it. This is what usually happens. And you don't want all those feelings cropping up again. I'm in a new relationship now. I'm very committed to the guy I'm with, right? I do not need to have ex people who are ex love interests coming back into my life, right? That's it. The person's apologised. I didn't even have to accept their apology, but I thought obviously they're feeling a bit of guilt, but not really. They've just used it as an excuse to speak to me because they've seen I'm with a partner now. That's what they've done, because they're still twisting it that it's their action, that is my misunderstanding of how they were, when really it's them who should have been apologising for their bad behaviour. But I'm not going to get into an argument with that person. I'm not going to start turning around and saying, well, actually, you're basically in that message, you're not sorry for what you did because you're saying it's my fault that I misunderstood you. I'm not going to get into that. I don't need to, because I have no reason for that guy to still be in my life. So I accept his apology. He's out of my life, laid it to rest now. That's great. Honestly, brilliant. Bye. That's it. See you. Don't want anything to do with you, right? Because if he's truly in a happy relationship, why is he going back on an asexual dating site when he doesn't need to go back on there? He's in a happy relationship. He hasn't been on there for years. Either he's lying his head off or something's not quite right in the relationship, isn't it? Because if he's happy with the person he is, he doesn't need to be on a dating site. He don't need to be on there. He could just delete his whole account. But instead of deleting his account, because he hasn't been on there for years, so clearly he's saying he doesn't use it, instead of deleting it, he's now saying he's looking for friends. Why? If he's got friends already, he's had friends for years, he's got a girlfriend, why? It's dodgy as heck. So he's not a good guy, right? You don't want this type of guy, because he'll just be edging his bets. So he's got a girlfriend and keeping the other person hanging on. This is what these people are like. So you don't want anything to do with that person. You just want to cut them loose and say, that's it. Or you either don't speak to them, you block them, or you say, thanks, but no thanks. These are the three actions, depending on how they are with you, depending on the circumstances. Like, obviously, if I had an ex that I've actually been in a relationship with that's bad for me, like I told you about the guy who's stalking me, I won't speak to that guy ever again. I won't speak to my long-term ex that I had of 8.5 years. I'll never talk to him again. Because I hate, it's not good. I'm actually at the risk, on a medium at risk register of my life being near him, right? I still live in the same city as him, right? I won't talk to him again. Doesn't matter what he does, I will not speak to him, because the moment I start talking to him, he will manipulate my mind into trying to get back with him. I know what he's like. These people are very cunning, and even if you think you're the strongest person in the world, you're not. As soon as you start talking to these people and you give into the attention that they want from you, that's when they get you. It is stronger to ignore these people, to block them, to have nothing to do with them, and to say no to them and to threaten with the authorities, right? This is a stronger person. It's not a stronger person that goes, oh, well, Mike's is talking to me and I haven't spoken to them for ages and they're being quite nice to me now. So maybe it's okay to just be their friend and talk to them. No, you don't want that. You're a strong person. You don't need that in your life. You say no, and people do change as well, but it's not your problem. Where they've changed for the worse or the better is not your problem, right? You don't need anything to do with them. They're gone out of your life for a reason, I'm not going to be getting these guys back in my life. I've got a committed relationship with a monogamous relationship with my life partner now. I'm not interested in other guys. Why am I interested in other guys? The only guys that I'm interested in, my close friends that I trust. They're not going to do anything bad with me, when I'm in a relationship, that I've got the same boundaries, that are real, just genuine friends, they don't fancy me like that, not to be in a relationship with, and even if they did, were attracted to me at all, they would never act on that and they would never pursue that because they know I'm with someone. Do you see what I mean? They're good people like that. And they're only happy for me because, they want me to be happy because they care about me and love me as a friend, not as a bad person. So you have to be very, very careful of these people. So, you just don't accept these old people back in your life. They left your life for a reason. They're gone. That's it. Anyway, I hope you've loved this video for tonight. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and hit the great big bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now, I post a new video. I am out quite a lot this week because it is my birthday on Wednesday. So I'm out again tomorrow and I'll be out clubbing all night. So I won't be able to do a live stream tomorrow at all. Well, now today. So I've kind of done one today already. I'm kind of like doing them like later on in the next day, like now. So yeah, so today, which is now the 23rd of April 2019, the day before my birthday, I've got to go to an appointment in the morning and then having food with my best friend again, and then I've got a Chinese meal with another thanks Heather. I got a Chinese meal with my with my friend and 4 other asexual friends. So we're having like an asexual meetup, like a pre-birthday meetup, and then I'm going clubbing with my friend, and one of the guys is who at the meetup is also coming for a drink with us, and then it will go over to my birthday, and then I've got to go back home for about 3 hours, get some sleep, and then go to Bream Theme Park actually on my birthday with my best friend. My other friend can't come now because he's not very well, but he might turn up because he's got a present for me anyway. I might turn up at the restaurant because we're going to another Chinese but in a different place, Weston-super-Mare, so that'll be so good. And then he goes home, like my best friend goes home on Thursday afternoon, so I'll be spending like the morning with him. So it's going to be amazingly well. I'm really like happy. I'm really like good. But like it's really good. It empowers you when you let these people in your past just go and you be really strong. It's powerful for you. It's all about what being an adult is. It's about what being a real woman, a real man is, a really strong person is. And you really need to be doing this, putting boundaries in place. This is a real strong person that does this. And this is what you want. This channel is all about empowering asexuals in relationships and dating. And just because you're asexual, you still have all the rights of a sexual person. I have to reiterate that before we go off, Some asexuals feel because they can't get a relationship, they have to put up with rubbish. Don't put up rubbish from people, right? Don't do it, right? You are worth more than that. Just because you don't have sex doesn't mean to say you haven't still got value in your life, right? You're still worthy to be in a relationship without sex. You're still worthy to be loved without sex. And you're still worthy to have the respect and care of a proper friendship without sex. And if the people left your life because they didn't want to be in a relationship with you, it's bye-bye to them. Or they didn't want to be friends with you at the time, because don't forget they can do it as friends. They can say, oh, well, haven't seen you for ages, let's be friends now. No, bye, don't need them. See you, right? So anyway, stay strong, people. I love you lots, and I will see you on the next live stream or video. I don't know when that'll be, because literally I'm out. Like I said, clubbing, then I'm going to the theme park in 3 hours. So probably for the next couple of days, I might not be able to do a live stream, but I really appreciate you still subscribe to this channel. Please get all your friends to share this channel with as many people as possible. If you've got multiple YouTube channels, don't forget profiles. Don't forget to subscribe from each one. And thank you, Heather, so much for tuning in. Thank you, Philip. I love you, babes. And I love everyone else as my friends on YouTube, and take care, and don't forget to subscribe, hit that great big bell icon so you do get notified every time I go live next or post a new video. And I will see you soon on the next live stream. Thank you so much for tuning in, and take care and have a great day. Till next time, embrace your cookie and each other's. Bye bye. Thank you so much.